This is the good Dr. Glenn Livingston, and I am here with the joint venture machine, Yoav Ezer. How are you, Yoav?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Glenn.
Good. Good. Well, today we're going to talk about the final training, which is turning joint ventures from one-time deals into evergreen profit engines that produce sales year after year. It's actually my favorite topic because I learned this the hard way. I did a lot of wham, bam, thank you, ma'am kind of joint ventures, one and done, and so much work, and then it's so sad when it's all over and you have to do it all over again. So I decided that I don't like that anymore. That's where we're going to talk to you today about things you can do to facilitate turning your joint ventures into evergreen profit producers. What we've covered to date in our videos so far have been 5 particular types of joint ventures and when to use each one, how to find hundreds of suitable JV partners, how and when to approach JV partners for maximum impact, how to create information products for joint ventures, how to set the right terms and expectations for your joint ventures, and the top and easiest affiliate tracking technologies that you can process your joint venture finances with in under 30 minutes a month. That's what we've covered so far in our video training, and you can always go back and look at more if you want to. But today let's talk about why you want to convert your joint venture promotions once they're successful into evergreen promotions, and the reasons why: because you'll get more sales, ongoing passive income, you can continually build your list, and you can strengthen your network. I think it's self-evident why you should convert all your joint ventures into evergreen deals, and I don't know why more people don't do it. And I think it's just because it involves a little bit of W-O-R-K, that 4-letter word.
Yeah, but you know, the majority of people don't do it. They don't take the time, and it's a one-time deal. And I think that's the main objection business owners have to doing joint ventures in the first place. That's why we're doing this, to show you guys how to make them evergreen and profitable for a long, long time.
You know, Yoav, when you and I are running the world, things are going to be different.
Every joint venture is going to be evergreen.
There'll be a death penalty for parking violations.
Especially on the sidewalks.
It's an old Steve Martin joke. Okay, so let's talk about 3 possible ways to make your joint ventures evergreen. These are not the only ways to make your joint ventures evergreen, but these are 3 good ways to do it. You can get the promotion added to your partner's autoresponder sequence. If it's an internet promotion and they're using an email autoresponder, then that's a fairly simple thing for them to insert. You just have to connect with them and talk to them about the benefits and remind them that you can pay them every month without them having to do any work whatsoever. It'll all be automated, and why wouldn't they want to do it? And I need to follow up a couple of times, but that's a really good thing to do, and I make a lot of money over the years from things that I've built into other people's autoresponders.
The emails are already there because you've used them for the promotion. They just have to put it on the autoresponder to get the benefits. It's a little bit of work for a lot of value.
Yep.
The next one is not a very common type of evergreen joint ventures. You don't see it a lot, but it's a very effective type. The idea is to add a link to your opt-in page from the thank you page visitors see on your partner's site when they register to their list. Okay, let's say that then you have a list about conversion and market research, and I join your list. Then on the thank you page, after I put down my email and name, I get a link to another list where I can join and get information about joint ventures. Now, I've seen that done maybe a couple of times, but it's very, very effective because the people that are already opting into the list are in an opting in mood. So you get a lot of people that opted into one list to opt into the second list.
An opter-inner is an opter-inner. And especially if you have a very good ethical bribe, a very good reason for them to, which is related to what they just opted in for them to sign up for a second list, and that can work really well. And it doesn't have to work exceptionally well to be an ongoing stream of income, especially if it's a high-profile joint venture who is a list builder themselves. Even if you're only getting 10% of the people to do that, the point is it's 10% of the people every day, day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year without you having to do any more work. You know, no financial risk, no more work. Why wouldn't you want to do that? So that's a big deal. The last thing you can do, this, by the way, in every marketing system I've ever seen, is woefully inadequate in their tendency to monetize people at the cash register. Once people have taken out their wallet and paid for a product, the technology exists for them to hit one button and buy another product. It's a one-click upsell. And you might think about how effective Amazon is with their one-click purchasing opportunity. Well, your partner could do that as soon as people have purchased their product, and the odds are, unless they're a sophisticated marketer, they're probably not already selling like this. And in most cases, if you have a very related offer, which either supercharges the value that they're getting from their product's primary product or makes it possible for the customer to get their results faster or less expensively, then you'll probably be able to obtain somewhere between 20 and 30% of their purchasers buying your product as well with one click. You have to write the copyright and really have a good argument for why that should be. But that's not at all unusual when it's done right, and that can be worth a lot of money. That can be worth a fortune. So getting your product inserted into their funnel as an upsell, that's just a perfect thing to do.
And you could get up to 20, 30, and in some cases 50% success on the upsell. So that could be a huge deal if done right.
Mm-hmm.
Some important things to remember about Evergreen joint ventures, and before I go into this, just want to remind you that those 3 were just part of the Evergreen joint venture techniques, and we cover a lot more in the full training. Let's talk about what you have to remember. The first thing is that you have to ask. Turning a joint venture into an Evergreen joint venture, it doesn't happen on its own. Even the smallest thing, like adding an existing email to an autoresponder, you've got to ask for it. And if you had a successful promotion beforehand, if the one-time promotion was successful, there's really no reason for you and the promoter not to turn it into an Evergreen promotion. And that's the second thing. You have to have at least one successful promotion and a good relationship with the partner. It seems obvious, but a lot of people burn bridges for no reason. If you recall, we discussed earlier why it's important to pay commissions on time and pay them, and the more commissions you pay, the better. And this is exactly why you want to pay them on time and pay as much as you can, because you want to have a good relationship with your partner. So he will install your promotion into his systems.
Very good. This is not sexy. This is not the kind of work that most people go into business to do, to be a little bit of a pest and get them to install this in your autoresponder. And maybe it's a little uncomfortable sometimes to ask, but it really benefits everyone. And this is the kind of thing, once you have a successful promotion, this can be worth $10,000 an hour for you to make happen. If it takes you a couple of hours of discomfort and making phone calls to make this happen, and then it's done and it works forever, it won't take you long to calculate that could be $10,000 an hour work.
Easy.
At these times, ask yourself, do I want to have fun or do I want to get rich? And this is the time to work on getting rich. That's it for our free training. I just want to take one more minute to talk to you about why you would be silly to leave this page without at least considering purchasing the full training for the Joint Venture Fast Track. When you get the comprehensive training, you will learn the patron saint of Evergreen Joint Ventures, which we call the promotional schedule. 2 more ways to add your offer to your partner's funnel, how to get endless top-notch referrals from book authors, and how to piggyback on their promotional efforts forever, how to maintain and enhance the relationship with your most important partners, and you'll get free lifetime access to the Joint Venture Fast Track Club if you order before the countdown expires below. The Joint Venture Fast Track Insiders Club is a very special place that we've designed for joint venture-minded individuals who are willing to take action and put the time and energy and resources necessary to create lucrative evergreen joint ventures according to the philosophies that we've talked about. But this is literally your last chance to get in for free lifetime access to the Joint Venture Insiders Club. And remember, this is not some place where we leave you on your own and throw you to the wolves, hoping that you'll be able to connect with other people to form joint ventures. We have a very structured step-by-step process for you to follow each week, activities to engage in to keep everyone in the club apprised of what you're up to and what you need, what you can offer. We have structured activities to help you prepare and present your offer to the rest of the club in our monthly webinar. We record those monthly webinars and distribute them to our buyers list. Occasionally, when there's a particularly good one, we distribute them beyond the buyers list to our following of 25,000 marketers, and included among those are people who have much larger lists and can get the word out even further and wider. So if you kind of think about, it's not quite what happens on Shark Tank to the people that go on and the exposure they get on network television, but it's an approximation of free exposure for your offer. And even if you can't find a partner inside the club, you very well might find one on the list that we broadcast to. If you purchase today before the countdown expires, you get a lifetime subscription to the Joint Venture Insiders Club and the comprehensive Joint Venture Fast Track training, the full training. You'll get to meet know, trust, and like other entrepreneurs who are actively looking for joint venture deals. They're actually people who've gotten very important deals within a week of joining the club, and we're hoping that's going to happen for you too. We're looking forward to meeting you inside. Let me just say one more word before we stop, and maybe you will also. I don't understand why anybody wouldn't do this, unless you just don't think joint ventures are for you, and you just think you're never going to really pursue this at all, and I don't really think that would be a smart idea for virtually any business, unless you're totally certain where the rest of your traffic is going to come from for the rest of your business life. I don't understand why anybody wouldn't do it. It's 10 times less expensive than other joint venture trainings you'll find on the market. It's not a continuity club, so you don't have to pay month after month after month if you buy before the joint venture countdown timer expires below. You'll know that the people in the club are of similar mindset to the philosophies that we've espoused over the course of this training to the philosophies that we espouse in the full training, and you know that these people in the club will have been willing to spend the money and study that training. And Yov and I will be there looking things over. So I don't know why anybody wouldn't do this. But
Glenn, I think a lot of people are afraid to reach out because they're not sure if they'll be treated well or if they'll get rejected. And I have to tell you that the club as it is filled with really nice, decent folk. And they're all cooperating to get to the same point of exposing their business to a larger audience and getting more deals. And, if you're willing to work a bit, we can't tell you that you can just come into the club and immediately get deals because that doesn't happen. But we've had one guy that got into the club, got into the monthly webinar, and got a promotion deal from Glenn. And we were sure that would never happen. We were absolutely sure that we're going to say no. But you know what? That guy was decent. He was there. He put on a good presentation. And even though, Glenn, I think you didn't make $1 million out of the presentation, but he had a good product that you wanted your subscribers to know about. And you made the promotion and he got the business. My message here is don't be afraid. You will be received with open arms and we will do our best to help you get more deals.
There you go. I guess the last thing we'll mention is that it's totally refundable if you're not happy for 60 days. So you really don't have anything to lose. You have a lot more to lose by not doing it. So go ahead and click the button before the countdown timer expires. Look over the sales letter and come on in and join us, won't you? Thanks.